and how we can become healthier ourselves by really helping the environment. This is something that's kind of like I'd like us to create like a little game around it because sometimes, at least for me, I don't know about for you, but it gets overwhelming. Like we see like the climate change, we see like rivers in India and other countries, and even our own oceans, lakes, rivers filled with plastic. Um, we have some of our water is unable to drink if we're pregnant, or it just, a lot of it can be overwhelming and scary. And I think we do need to look at those statistics so then we see why and have that like driving why of how we can make a difference. But when we kind of get overwhelmed, at least for me, when you get overwhelmed, is sometimes you're like, I don't know, it's too much. My life is so busy. I've got this, this, and this, and I don't even know what to do. So today I want to take just a few minutes of your time and really break down simple steps to create a healthier life for you, put more money in your pocket, and also in turn help our future, but then help the environment as well. So maybe you can type in some of the things that you currently do. Happy Earth Day. So some of the things that you currently do or would like to do, maybe inspired to do in the chat, or we can share it on social media of ways, simple ways that we can create a happy earth and a healthier you. So the first thing I really like to think about myself is like living as natural as possible. And that, because if you're going to think about kind of the three big things that how what we could do personally to help the environment is the food we eat, the electricity and energy that we use, and our water sources, right? So if you think about those three things, and then some simple ways that we could just live a little bit more natural, that can help reduce our carbon footprint, and help increase like our life. And it's not about like getting rid of your car or never whatever, never going to a coffee shop again, those kind of things. It's more what we want to do, like, and creating those everyday habits that we talk about that makes the biggest environmental impact and makes the biggest impact on your health. So when you think about, so just a little story. So my husband and I, a lot of you on this know Ed, he is more like frugal and money conscious. So, and I'm more like lifestyle and probably environmental conscious. And what we have learned through the last 20 years of being married is both of those go together perfectly. So I might not be super motivated to turn out the lights to save a dollar or two, but I am sure motivated to turn out the lights to help the environment. But it's just habits, and my mom can speak to this. Is so Ed, since for the last 20 years, he makes us do push-ups if the lights are on, and it was so like everybody's like, seriously, you make your mother-in-law do push-ups if she leaves the lights on? And he's like, yeah, she hits the deck and does push-ups. And so it just became this kind of funny way of creating a habit to, when you leave a room, turn out the lights. And then I've also progressed into using less lights in general. So opening up the windows when I get up in the morning, it's really not good for us to turn on artificial light in the morning. And it's really not great for us to have artificial light at night. So I've gotten in a habit, because Ed's made me do so many push-ups, that we turn off the lights, and then now it's a game and it's fun. So kind of thinking about that in general when we're talking about all of this is how can you create kind of a game around it so we get 10 push-ups for every light that's on. So creating like a game around conserving, creating a game around creating more of a natural habitat for us, like we've used to live 100 years ago. And it is like the we have so many comforts right now. And there's like a book called, Steph, maybe you could type it in, or mom if you remember, but it's called like the comfortability. issue or something like that, where a a lot of our health issues come from us wanting to be too comfortable. And a lot of the things that we do to create comfort actually create a weak body, a weak mind, and we're more apt to suffer significantly when we're not used to being uncomfortable. So maybe to save the environment is not thank you so much. The comfort crisis. Thanks, that. So the comfort crisis. And so as we're talking through this, see, some of these things are going to make you feel uncomfortable, but then say like, okay, being uncomfortable is actually really good for me. Like being a little hot in my car or in my house and not blaring the AC, being a little cold and not turning on the heater right away, being a little uncomfortable by having to carry around your coffee cup or your water cup is really good for you. And the more that we create habits around it, the better it is for you and for the environment. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in. We're going to keep it super simple. Grab a pen and a piece of paper. The things that resonate to you, don't let it be overwhelming. Just fun ideas. We're going to throw it all around. Things that resonate with you. Let's commit together to just have more of like a natural life as much as possible. So the three things that we're going to think about are your health, your pocketbook, your money, and your future. So, when we're thinking about your health, the biggest thing that we can really focus on is our food and the food that we eat. I could talk about this all day. We literally have 5 minutes together. So, I want you to do your own research on this. But when you're thinking about all the things that we eat through the day, we eat a lot of food. And in America, we studies show that we throw away 41% of the food that is grown and produced. 41% goes into the garbage. And so when we think about how to be better consumers and in our own house, use the food that we buy, and then also just eating a little bit less. And it's so like we were in kind of like that like 90s of like the super size, like everything is big, more french fries, more sodas, everything is like huge portions. Like I don't even remember that restaurant, but it's like when like they serve you like a half a cow, and it's literally, I swear to you, I know you've probably seen it, but it's literally like the whole rib of a cow that like lands on your plate. And it's crazy to think that we actually don't need that much food. And the food that we eat, oh, claim jumpers, yeah, thanks, up, is like you look at these portions and you're like, wow. So just starting with like when we're doing like nutrition challenges and when we're doing like intermittent fasting or when we're doing some of these things where we're eating a little bit less, it's really good for the environment as well. And then being really careful not to go to the grocery store hungry because you buy things that you're just not going to eat. And then as much as possible, buy things in bulk. So like tea bags, are buying tea in bulk is tea bags, the teas go bad after time anyways. Um, Thinking about like utilizing the jars. So this is from Costco. It's just like organic olives. Is like using these jars to then store what you buy in bulk, like lentils and different things like that. So really thinking about like how you can, if you love cinnamon, which is great for your blood sugar, really good for you, buy it in bulk and then reuse the little glass cinnamon jar. As far as like that meat out Monday and like eating less meat, eating more veggies, having, if you do eat meat, eating it more as a condiment than as like those like big supersize is going to help you ward away heart disease, cancer, lots of different things by what is the cause of like eating too much meat, but it's also really good for the environment. So 2 pounds of beef releases 132 pounds of greenhouse gases, where if you look at peas, so there's a lot of like pea protein, right? When you're looking at like the Beyond Burgers, or lots of like the different kind of like pea proteins that we use, the same amount of peas, so that 2 pounds of peas produces 2 pounds of greenhouse gases compared to 132 pounds. So I'm not saying like that you should cut out all meat, but maybe just have like meat out Monday, or eat less meat. Eat more veggies, because the veggies are, and especially if, I know organic is expensive, like studies show it's actually like 47% more expensive to buy organic, but the price that you're helping the environment is priceless, because when we're eating organic, there's less fertilizer, there's less pesticides, our soil is better, the rivers that we swim in. Like, it makes me so sad. I go down to Guerneville with my family, and Ed's like, you can't swim in those rivers. Like, they go all the way through the ag, through Davis, and they're so full of toxins because of the fertilizers and pesticides. So just remembering that if we eat less, we can afford to eat more organic. If you do eat meat, eat like maybe more of like fish and chicken, a little less beef, or like just thinking about little ways that you can make a big difference in the environment. Um, okay, so I have so much to say, and I know that we only get a few minutes together, but plastic forks, and plastics in general. So as women, it's very important that we eat food that is less wrapped in plastic. So these phytoestrogens really cause us hormonal issues. I'm doing a big talk on hormones today at noon, and these phytoestrogens are a big culprit to hormonal imbalances, to like can be a precursor for cancer. So the less plastic that we use, can we all agree? Like, let's just never ever buy water bottles again. I know it's hard, but having one of your favorite water bottles around, and then sometimes we just have to be a little thirsty until we can get to like our good tap water that's filtered. But using less plastic, using less water bottles is really, really important. It takes 1,000 years to break down one plastic bag in the environment. So when you're thinking about like your bags, is just Steph is actually really good about this, is like just keeping this in your purse, wrapping it up. This has like a little thing. It's like a little kind of fit bag if it's in your purse. But then my trick, which is not my trick, my downfall is I never put them back in my car. So then I have to discipline myself when I go to the grocery store that I just don't use bags, and it's not fun. Like, have to put all the groceries in the grocery cart, then you put all the groceries in your car, then you have to run into the house, get your bags, bag your groceries, and bring it up. No fun. So it's a discipline for me. I'm like, no, if you forgot your bags, your life is going to be a little bit harder when you go grocery shopping. So that's kind of one way that I discipline myself with making sure that I bring my bag. So remember, 1,000 years to break down one bag. So as much as we can, use the bags, or just use no bags, use your muscles and run in and out of the house a little bit. Again, better for your body. Okay, so I'm going to go now into our pocketbook. So when you're thinking about money and saving money, eating a little less. So a lot of times I hear often is like, I can't afford to eat organic or free range or all of these things because it's so expensive. But if we're eating less, and processed food is really expensive. Chips are very, very expensive. Like all cheeses, all of this stuff is very expensive. And dollar for dollar, if we eat a little bit less and we don't waste our food, right? That 41% of food that gets thrown away, if we don't waste anything, we have that like non-waste kitchen that we can actually afford to buy better food. Push up for lights. So if you keep your lights off, your electricity bill goes down. That's better for the environment. Biking and walking. I'm not great at this because I live in Tahoe. So obviously, like walking in the snow is not easy, but studies show that I think it's 50. No, let me look and see if I wrote this down. I actually can't quote the exact percentage, but it's almost half of the trips that we make in our car are less than 3 miles. And so if you can make a kind of a promise to yourself of like, okay, I'm going to put my backpack on anywhere I'm going under 3 miles, I'm going to ride my bike or walk. And then put your groceries in your backpack so you're kind of buying less. And then you are able to save the environment and get really healthy and save money on gas, save money on tires, save money on all of that as well. Um, Using jars, so these like mason jars, so using mason jars, I think we're all pretty good at this, but like all of our um like our spaghetti sauce, like this was like the yummy salsa from Costco. So I just try to buy everything in jars, and then I try to think about how I can use these jars in my life. So a lot of times we just use them for our smoothies. They come with lids, which is so nice. You don't have to buy mason jars. You don't have to buy cups. You just use these. And then as much as possible, thinking about like how you can save money by buying in bulk and then reusing your jars and reusing things around the house. So like storage bins, you could like even if you buy like little plastic things, those or like the boxes that things come in Amazon, I always cut the lid off and I use them for like my hair ties. I use them to like organize my makeup. And then makeup, this is a great way to save money. Make sure I'm like not taking too much of your time. Okay, 2 minutes. Great way to save money is in your toothpaste and like your makeup is cutting the bottom off when you're done and using every single little bit of it. So I've always done that, but makeup is expensive and toothpaste and all of these are hard on the environment. So just cutting it, using that. I put water, a couple drips of water in my mascara at the end, so I get more life out of my mascara and my like little eyebrow thing. I put water in there. So just little ideas to help with the environment with your makeup is just adding a little water to it, using less. So I'm conscious about like not just like using tons of whatever it is, like if it's like sunblock, just use a little bit less if you're not going to be outside, that kind of thing. So as much as possible, use less. That'll save money. It also saves the environment. And then I'll just leave you guys with our future. So if we can together think about, oh, you know what I wanted to tell you? Starbucks, that they just the Starbucks company, so like encouraging us to bring our own cups, like when we travel, is they use 8,000 cups a minute and 4 billion cups a year in just Starbucks. So it's crazy to think about what that impact could do with you just bringing your own cup. Or if you do go to Starbucks or pizza, wherever, maybe just don't get a lid because that plastic lid on it. So that was one thing that I thought was absolutely crazy as well. So our future is thinking about like how we can just simplify our life and the less of these kind of like consumerism, like wanting to buy more. It really helps me a lot too to think about because I love like whatever, like it's like fun to go like buy new clothes or buy new shoes or buy new socks. Like the amount of water that's used for every pair of socks is crazy. So it just makes me buy less clothes, buy less stuff, use my things for as long as I can, and then making when I do make a purchase, I really think about it. Like, am I really going to use this? Is this, if you kind of think about like, there was like a comedian that said, like, we just live in trash. Like, literally every single thing you buy will end up in like the garbage. So eventually, everything, so it's just we're kind of living with a bunch of garbage. So if you think about like just purchasing less things, then there's less things to go into the dump and into the landfills. So our future is just being a little bit more conscious about walking more, drinking water out of the tap, and of course filtering it. um, and what we're doing is we're reducing the risk of us getting cancer. We're reducing the risk of a lot of different like issues, autoimmune diseases, so many things that like when we put too much product on our skin, when we have too much spray for our homes, like all of that we're using less, we're saving money, but we're also saving our future. And what's most important, I think, to all of us is that we can create a brighter future for like our kiddos and for the future generations that are coming up, that we can help like with cleaner lakes and cleaner water. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope it wasn't too much. Remember, just keep it really simple. Research the stats yourself, see what works for you and your family. Think about how you can help the environment with through your health, with like less plastic forks, no plastic water bottles, meat out Monday, eating more veggies, bringing your paper bag or your own bags to shop, saving money by turning out your lights, riding your bike, walking more, using mason jars. And then our future is just living a little bit more with nature. Open up the windows, turn out the lights, and just enjoy kind of that natural set of being. I love you guys. Mwah. Good to see you.